Welcome back to Mill Creek Range. This is Benji, and today we're going to be going back a little some old school. So I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of different holsters, or I'll say a variety of holsters for your single actions. Now for me, I got started in the early 90s. My first holster, I bought a Ruger new model Blackhawk in 357, and added the black pearl grips. The store actually had them inside of stock when I purchased the gun used. This gun was probably purchased in 91, maybe 92 time frame. And yeah, this was my first single action. And if any of you around the southeast area, Carolinas, you're probably familiar with the area called Pigeon Forge in Tennessee. And yeah, so there was a store there, still working, called the Outback Leather 2. And they had just a ton of these Buscadero rigs made in Mexico. And this one is very soft leather. And so this was my first, I'll say to me back in the day, my first Old West holster rig. And bought it especially for the new model Blackhawk. And carried this thing around the property some, hung on my bedpost, up on the bed of course. And yeah, I mean, it stayed inside of this holster for a long time. Stayed loaded. It was kind of my home defense gun at the time. And yeah, so this, again, one of these Buscadero rigs made in Mexico. Good quality leather. Okay, and I'm sure a lot of people's had them. Unfortunately for me, I've grown a bit. So I think this one here is size 36. There ain't no way I can fit back into it. So then a few years later, I bought my second one. Same place, same holster type, but this one here's for a 44 mag. And I can get into the very last hole up on this one here. It's actually sized for, I think, 38 size. Of course, it's got the tie down, and the single action I purchased for it was my Ruger Super Blackhawk 44 mag, 10.5-inch barrel, stainless steel, Pachmayr grips, and her name is Bumidine, and she fits pretty good, sticks out a bit, but yeah, again, that's the rig I purchased for her. And I've had this gun, I think I bought this gun probably, I'm going to say maybe 93, 94 time frame, I believe it was. So this here's the new model Super Blackhawk by Ruger. And then I didn't buy any more holsters for a good long while. I started traveling for work, and didn't do a lot of shooting at that time. But I always still loved the passion. And so I bought this gun right here, which is a Ruger new model Vaquero. And, well, new Vaquero in 45 Colt. Stainless steel finish, factory grips, and not long afterwards ran into this eBay page. And I believe the gentleman's eBay store was Ruger 123, I believe it was. Ruger 123, I believe it was. And anyway, I had him, he was out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I had him to make me this rig here. still I'll say a Buscadero rig, but it doesn't hang near as low as the other two does. It's more, I'll say, comfortable. And and this was actually my farm gun around here. I cut grass with it because I cut grass around my pond. I keep about 5 to 6 acres of grass cut here, so I run into the old note ropes a couple of times out of the year. So I would load up Snake Shot, and this right here was my rig for several years. Several years. This was my rig. This was my working gun, my working holster here around the property, and it's seen a lot of wear and tear, but it's really held up extremely well. So it's probably one of my favorite ones, actually, for working, comfortable to wear, and just fit extremely well. Okay, moving on down the line. So my at that time was my oldest grandson, and I don't remember what age he was, but I had the gentleman to make him basically a replica of my rig to fit his Heritage what are these called? Heritage, not Rough Riders. Yeah, it is Heritage Rough Rider 22. Put them some nice little pearl grips on it, and took them shooting a few times with it. Didn't quite fit them as well. It was a little a little larger for him, but he's actually growed into it well now. He's fixing to be, well, he's 14. He'll be 15 soon. So yeah, so that's that little rig there for the grandson, the oldest. Then moving on, I bought this used. I've done research on it. It comes from the 70s, and it's a Uberti made replica of a Griswold & Gunnison 1851. Only problem with it is it's chambered in .44, not the actual .36 caliber. But the barrel, the make of it is basically a remake of the Griswold & Gunnison Confederate 1851, but it's chambered inside of .44. But it came with this nice flap holster for your left side draw, and so I put this belt with it with a CS buckle. Now, if I wanted to carry on my right side, I purchased this holster here for it to go on my right side for my Calpan ball. So moving on to this holster here, I had the gentleman in Kentucky, Bowling Green, to make me this one here for a .44 mag. I also had him make me 2 magazine pouches for it. And this one here fits my Desert Eagle, chambered in .44 mag. And it's my Western rig. Not many of them around for the Desert Eagle. When I had him make this one here, he was a little hesitant. But what I did was I bought a perfect scale model of a Desert Eagle. I think I paid under $20 for it, a little toy airsoft gun. And I shipped that to him, and then he made the holster around that replica. And come back, it fit extremely well. And again, if I want to do Western with my Desert Eagle, I can do it. Then I've got this holster here for this Mitchell Arms that I found inside of a pawn shop that was in pretty dire shape. And a buddy of mine made me these custom 20,000-year-old stabilized mammoth tusk grips for it. And so this one is chambered in 45 Colt. It's a Mitchell Arms, which was imported into the States, and it was manufactured by Uberti out of Italy. And with it, I have it inside of this rig here. This is a off-the-shelf cartridge belt and holster off of eBay. Of course, they don't match, but I bought the cartridge belt separate. I bought the holster separate, and also, if I want to do cross draw, I've got a cross draw holster for it. So this is one of my later rigs for this setup. Every single action needs a good holster. And then to my last, had a gentleman make me this holster set. He made me this belt, 2 holsters, really nice soft leather. I love the color. It's got a rolled buckle on it, so it's a little easier to cinch up. And it's for my 2 Cimarron MP523s, which are chambered in 44 WCF. So this was one of the last rigs you've probably seen me in my last video of shooting left-handed. So that's that rig there. And if I wanted to do cross draw, I had them make me a cross draw holster as well. So I just wanted to sort of go about today some holsters. I mean, I know that we probably all have them. We probably have some that maybe we regretted buying at one point in time. Maybe we bought some that just didn't quite fit the theme that we were trying to portray. But you got to have fun with it, and you never throw them out. You may give them away at times, but I have it myself. I hang on to them, and one day I'll pass them down to my kids and grandkids. So anyway, have fun with it. Get out there and shoot, and keep your powder dry, and we'll see you on down the trail. See you next time. Okay, we'll see how that goes. I don't know.